Welcome to this video on 5 communication skills activities. Let's get straight into it. First of all, let me just tell you the activities are going to be verbal versus non-verbal challenge, clarifying questions icebreaker, role swap, active listening role play, and 2 truths and a lie. I know you're busy, so let's get straight into it. Let's take a look at the first activity. So what you're going to do in the verbal versus non-verbal communication, you're going to split people into 2 teams. You're going to have one team and they're going to go behind like a curtain or a divider, and they're going to verbally explain to other people how to do something. But the people doing the activity, doing the task, cannot see what they're supposed to do in terms of the finished product. So you see these cups, this cup design on screen. The people behind the curtain are going to explain to the people doing the activity to create this layout of cups, for example. But they have to do it and they cannot see each other, and they have to use words. The people given the verbal cannot see the progress of the people doing the layout of the cups. So it's really quite difficult, especially with this kind of layout of cups. I would use paper cups. It's a really easy option, but you can have other challenges such as how to make a paper aeroplane in a certain design. But the 2 parts of the team cannot see each other, so it's all about communication skills. It can be a lot of fun. It's quite a challenging activity. Let's go to activity number 2. Clarifying questions icebreaker. So what you're looking for is somebody is going to describe a certain challenge, such as how to find your way home in a new city, but without a phone, without a cell phone or mobile phone. So the person listening can ask questions. They cannot make judgment. They should not, let me go to the next slide. They should not make judgment or make assumptions. This is the person listening. So what do you mean by someone asking for directions? How would you approach someone if you're going to ask directions? When you say you'd use a map, do you mean a paper map that you would buy or that you would get locally from maybe a tourist information center? You ask the questions, and this person has to go through the task, such as how to find your way in a new city without a phone, or it could be how to make a cup of tea in complete darkness. So the person has to think about and explain how they would do it, and you can ask them clarifying questions. And it's all about communication and how you communicate together. Let's go to activity number 3, role swap. So it could be that the people in the class are managers and employees, for example. So you could pair a manager with an employee, allow them 20 minutes, but you can make this much shorter, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. And they will work together and they will simply reverse roles. So one person will play the role of manager, as the employee, and they will experience what it feels like to be the other person. So you can give them a certain scenario, such as it's a job interview or a annual meeting, and give the employee the chance to experience what it might feel like to be the manager and maybe the difficulties that managers would have and vice versa. Activity number 4, active listening role play. Well, this is a classic, of course. It seems so easy to listen, but do we really know how to listen? Listening intensely and listening properly is actually quite difficult. You really have to focus in on the actual person in front of us. So put people into pairs or small groups. I think pairs works best, and give them a topic that one of them will start talking about for, let's say, for 3 minutes, if you wish to, 5 minutes. The other person must carefully listen to everything and should focus. And it's actually very difficult to focus that intently for 3 minutes or 5 minutes. The person speaking afterwards can ask them a few questions to test how well the other person was listening. You can rotate the people in a pair. The listener then becomes the speaker, and the person who was the speaker, of course, becomes the listener. It's a very simple activity, but it can be a lot of fun as well, and people really then begin to understand the value of good listening, and this is an important and a vital workplace skill. Activity number 5, this is another absolute classic game. It's very popular. Each person will have a few minutes to think about 2 truths, 2 things that are true about them, and 1 thing that is a lie. So they shouldn't be too generic, like I am a man or or something. It should be a little bit more deeper in terms of truth or lie. So I once climbed Everest. If that's true, that's quite a good truth, or that could be the lie. So it's make something. They should make truths and lies that are quite interesting and not too obvious. Everybody will then have a chance to tell their two truths and a lie to the rest of the group, and the group must try and work out which of those was the lie. And you would hope that the participants begin to learn and start thinking about non-verbal communication. How were they able to work out correctly when people were telling a lie or when they were telling the truths? Did they learn anything? This can be a great way of trying to begin to get them thinking about non-verbal communication. Great for communication training. Great activity. Okay, that's short and sweet. I don't want to keep you from whatever you're doing. I hope you have a good day. There's more activities coming up soon. Would love your feedback. If you wish to leave comments below. We sell training course materials, by the way. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video very soon.